This video is a part of class presentation for data mining project. The topic for presentation is Outbrain click prediction. So now let's see what we are actually showing in this presentation. So in this presentation, we'll be covering the introduction, the related work on this topic, the algorithms that we implemented, and the output analysis done by us, the performance analysis of all the algorithms among themselves. We actually created a GUI, which we actually have uploaded on the YouTube video. So if you want to go, and the link is present in that video, so if you want, you can go and check it out. And the conclusion and the future work proposed by us. So let's come to the introduction. Outbrain actually is an online advertiser specializing in presenting sponsored website links. So as you can see in this figure, this is the paid content, which actually is suggested by the Outbrain, and it is the world's largest discovery platform. It helps to discover the content that can be trusted, and the users can analyze, and the Outbrain can suggest what data to be put on the websites. And these are a few among many site web pages where Outbrain actually shows the suggested content. That could be CNN, MSN, and Daily News. The main objective of a project is to predict the ads the user is more likely to click if it occurs on its web page. So it works, how actually Outbrain performs its function is on the basis of a pay-per-click policy. So it gets paid only for the ads that are clicked. And they estimate the best possible location for placing the ads so as to maximize the revenue by using the click-through rate. So we'll see the click-through rate in the slides ahead. So we actually did a literature review as well. So what we found on the internet was like this. There were many algorithms that were implemented on this topic. They were like Nave's model, probabilistic model, matrix factorization machines. But all these actually algorithms have limitations to them. So I can tell you what the Nave-based model has the limitation. It works on feature independence. So we cannot actually consider this because the features here are very interrelated to each other. So we cannot use that model over here. So there are some of the other limitations to the other projects. The recent work in ad click prediction broadly depicts a model which combines decision trees with logistic regression, and it actually is seen that it gives an improvement of 3%. We actually did the same. We'll show you the analysis in the slides ahead. So the artificial neural network is combined here with boosted trees, and evaluation of the performance on the system as a whole is done. We were not able to exactly do the boosted trees, so we actually concentrated on artificial neural networks and did the performance. For this purpose, we actually used two data mining tasks. The first one is the classification and the prediction. The classification model helps us to predict for a particular user against a display ID the probability of the ads to be displayed, and so the Outbrain actually can decide as per the model which ads to be displayed on which page. The second one is the prediction. Based on the above model, we are using the prediction that will actually tell us how likely a user is to click the ad. So it is in the form of a binary result, that is 0 and 1. So if the user clicks, it's 1, and if the user doesn't, it's 0. So we implemented 3 algorithms from scratch. So as we are 3 members in the group, so everyone implemented 1 algorithm. Those are decision trees, logistic regression, and neural networks. So I'll tell you overview of these algorithms, and we'll talk about this later in detail. So decision trees actually is a decision support tool that uses tree-like graph or model of decision and their possible consequences, which gives the outcomes in the form of a tree, so that the leaf nodes actually represent the output which we get. Logistic regression is a regression model where the dependent variable is categorical, and it gives the output in the form of a 0 or 1, the probability of binary response based on 1 or more predictor. Neural networks is actually based on a network inspired by biological neural networks, which are used to estimate or approximate functions that can depend on large number of inputs that are largely unknown. So here is actually example of the data which we used. So this data actually tells about the display ID. The display ID is a group of ads which Outbrain actually uses. Ad ID is a unique ID of an ad. The document ID tells us about the pages visited by a user to read a particular document, such as news, travel, article, etc. And the platform is it can be 0, it can be 1, 2, or 3. So that we actually categorize this as laptop, mobile, or tablet. The traffic source can be the user can view the ad ID from social media, or like when he's doing a normal web search or watching a YouTube video, maybe. The next one is the advertiser ID. It is the company ID that is promoting the ad. The next one is the topic ID. The topic ID depicts various topics the ad can cover, as in like news, sports, entertainment. And the next one is publisher ID. This is the ID the website is hosting the ad. The category ID tells us about the broad category of an ad. And finally, the clicked, it shows about like which ad is clicked against any display ID.
Before implementing any algorithm, we check for the data quality, which include removing missing values. We remove the entire instance of a data if attribute missing value for that instant. This we did because missing values cannot be represented by simple mathematical calculation in this scenario. Next is the outlier detection. We use 1.5 interquartile range between the first quartile or above the third quartile. Normalization is done to transfer data on a scale of 0 to 1. It helps. This is done for logistic regression to avoid prediction error. And also neural networks. Before implementing neural network, we need to normalize a data. Decision tree has no impact on normalization as such. After checking the data qualities, we went ahead for the sampling. Since we had a very large record of the data and due to time and resource constraint, we did the random sampling without replacement. The last data processing task we did is to take the subset of data according to the relevancy, such as customer ID and display ID is unique for a user and it represents the same thing. So we just included the display ID and removed the customer ID.
Decision tree is one of the data mining tasks we have used for classification. We have used decision tree for classifying display IDs, whether the display IDs are clicked or not. Decision tree actually depicts the output in a form that is easier to understand and interpret. The final output of a decision tree is a model form using simple classification techniques. So we are trying to generate a tree such that we have target attributes at the leaf level. In our case, it is 1 if it is clicked and 0 and not if it is not clicked. So the algorithm we have developed is constructed in a top-down fashion. The algorithm is our own implementation of classification and regression tree algorithm. We have used complexive pruning to remove unreliable branches for improving accuracy, and we have provided such that and the decision tree is used because it provides better results on qualitative data. In our algorithm, we have used Gini index as a split for splitting the nodes, and we have picked the Gini index, the minimum value, because the minimum value has the highest purity, and this is the decision tree outcome of our data set when we have applied our own algorithm. As we can see, the node level we have 0 and 1 values, which represents whether the ad IDs have been clicked or not clicked. And tree pruning, we have applied tree pruning in order to reduce the size of the decision tree, because tree pruning is the best way of reducing the complexity of the decision tree, and it does not also affect the accuracy. And we have used the test data set as well as a training data set for our classification. While using the test data set, we have observed an mean square error of 0.5727, And on our training data set, we have observed a mean square error of 0.5927. And when we have applied evaluation on our decision trees, we have observed that the graph is not that much suitable for our data set. So as we can see, the graph is obtained between false positive rate and true positive rate, and the graph is not that much reliable for our data set compared to other models.
So now let's see how we applied artificial neural networks. So in the figure, actually, we see here, these are the input layers, which actually are a series of input that we give. This is the hidden layer, and this is the output. The hidden layer actually are unknown to the user. We calculate it whenever we input some data to the process, and it actually calculates it based on the training data we provide. So this is the way we actually make the network intelligent so that it can work for the test data. So this is the input layer, the hidden layer, and the output layer. The connections between one unit and the other are represented by a number called the weights. The hidden layer, the circles in front of the hidden layers are the weights of the process. So how does a neural network work? So in this one, information flows through a neural network in two ways. The first one is when it is learning, like when we are actually passing the training data. And the second one is when you are actually using it on the trained data. By using the trained data, when we are using it to predict on the test data. So patterns of information are fed into the network via an input unit, which trigger the layers of the hidden units, and this in turn arrive at the output units. The common design is called a feed-forward network. So this is a simple network, the input, the hidden layer, and the output. The neural network can learn actually things basically based on a backpropagation theorem. So I'll tell you what that is. This involves comparing the output of a network produces with the output it was meant to produce, and using the gap between the produced and it actually should have it produce the output, and it actually should have produced the output, using the difference to modify the weights. So this is an example. It uses a delta rule for artificial neural network, backpropagational neural networks. It is actually also known as by this name. So it is nothing but backwards propagation of error. By using this one, the delta rule, learning is a supervised process. So as in we give the training data and we actually send it multiple times by sampling a data into a small part and then actually training the network. And after that, we use this network to predict the test results. So it can be summarized backpropagation. Each time when we give it to the network, it gives a new output pattern. So most simply, when a neural network is initially presented with a pattern, it makes a random guess as what it should be according to its intelligence, and it then seems how far its answer was from the actual one and makes an appropriate adjustment to its connection weights. So this figure we actually calculated by using the neural network. We wrote the code for it. So this gives the input that we actually gave for the system, and by using the intelligent neural network, these weights were calculated and it gives the output. So it was not feasible to actually work on the big data which we were provided. So we made a random sample of 5,000 records and did this calculation. So, and also a dimensionality reduction was done because we had many attributes, but it was not possible to put all the attributes and get the output. So in the first step of the network, the network is trained using the training data multiple times, and it is used to predict the click-through rate of an ad. So when the network is trained, it becomes intelligent, and we can use it to predict the test results. The output that we actually got from the neural network was, it generates the output in the form of a table that consists of the set of advertisement IDs against a single display ID. It arranges the set of ad IDs in the increasing order of their probability to be clicked based on the weights that are calculated, so that it's actually easier for Outbrain to select a few particular ads which it wants to put on the web page. So based on this model, we can also calculate the probability of an advertisement to be clicked or to be not clicked. We actually did a sensitivity analysis by doing by using this network multiple number of times to get the output. So the observations were, we actually did a performance analysis with other projects, other algorithms as well, to predict if neural network was fit for our data or not. So the testing of the click prediction system showed that the replacement of linear regression with artificial neural network considerably improves the prediction performances. However, we noticed that when the training data is small, linear regression outperforms artificial neural network, but as the size of the data increases, obviously artificial neural network, the performance was in the favor of artificial neural networks. And also, artificial neural network can be actually used to capture the nonlinear relationship between the input and the output. So it's actually a better fit for this process.
Second task is to predict for these ads whether it will be clicked by user or not. So we use logistic regression for this. Training data is used to train and generate the logistic model. After the model is generated, we use the output of a neural network as an input in logistic regression to predict the outcome. Now, why we are doing this? The outbrain generate income based on the total number of a click. The correct prediction of ad clicks will help in a better allocation of resource for maximizing profit. So why the reason for choosing the logistic regression? It gives the improvement upon the multiple regression in terms of predicting the binomial outcome, such as click or not click, in our case with respect to the continuous variables. It outperforms with respect to decision tree in the term if we need single decision boundary not parallel to the axis and can avoid overfitting unlike other algorithms. So a few mathematical background. It models the linear combination of attributes and give odd of positive outcome as probability is greater than 0.5, it is considered as 1. If it is less than 0.5, it is considered as 0. We need to model a weight because B0, B2 is unknown. So, okay, I did wrong here. It should be B1, B2 and Bn. So, we need, through logistic regression, we are calculating these weights. So let's see the algorithm to calculate weight. First, the main objective of logistic regression is to minimize the minus log of likelihood. Now for how to proceed this, first we initialize the weight for each attribute and an intercept, which we see here as a B0. Now we need to estimate the probability using this formula. This probability is a probability of a positive outcome. Now after calculating the probability, we will feed this probability in log of likelihood equations. We need to minimize the negative of the log of likelihood, estimate the gradient of the negative log likelihood. This we do for the Newton-Raphson equation. And finally, we calculate the difference in log probability and stop where it is less than the threshold. Now, the outcome of logistic model is we get the weight respect to our input variables. Now, how to judge the performance evaluation? The very important performance evaluation in logistic regression is deviance residual. Now, it measures the fit of a model. Deviance residuals are related to contribution of each points to the likelihood. Di is SI square root minus 2 of log. Pi I is odd minus Yi is the outcome, which is 0 and 1 in our case, click or not click. So in this case, our deviance residual is in an acceptable range and it gives the good fit. Next is a logistic regression. Our misclassification error came 0.91375. It's not a good measure of performance evaluation and can give misleading results. So we move forward to check the ROC curve. We can see in our ROC curve is giving good classifier. Area under curve is around 81%. And then I did the k-fold cross validation and mean error was 0.25.
We have the performance analysis of all the models we have used in our data mining tasks. The neural networks, when compared with the linear models, the mean square error was the factor we have used for the performance analysis. The mean square error for the linear model is 0.149, and mean square error for neural networks is 0.50, which is better compared to other models which are used for our data mining tasks. For the first data mining task, where we have to get a model for display ID against add IDs against display ID, we the mean square root error for the neural networks was 0.50, and the mean square error for the decision tree was observed to be 0.59. As the neural network was better, we have picked neural network model for it. And for the second data mining task, we have used logistic regression, where we have predicted the click or no click in the form of 1 or 0.
GUI is made in a Excel using Visual Basic and RXL plugin. RXL plugin connects the Excel directly and run R program in the background. Data frame is stored in the Excel and transferred to the R. We made a Visual Basic code for this purpose. Link to our video is this. This is a output example. We get using neural network, we get the display ID is a collection of an ad, which is a ID which is given to a particular user according to her browsing behavior. The ads is an decreasing order of probability, and via logistic regression we get for a particular ad if the user will click it or not. Now, for the logistic regression, for doing this purpose, we use the neural network output as an input. The next thing we did is to analyze our model, how its application is. So, final CTR click prediction model is based on the combination of a neural network and logistic regression. Results obtained can be used to get which ad to promote according to a person. Now, other inferences we can draw from these is we sorted all the positive clicks and draw the histogram based on different platforms, such as in our case it was 1, 2, and 3, and we can see that the number of click was more via platform 2. So we can use platform 2, which could be mobile, laptop, or tablet, to promote the ad so that the number of clicks will be more. And the next we did with respect to the source can be any social network or a website. So we saw in our case it was way much higher in a 1 than in 2. We can do other analysis with respect to geolocation, time of visit, to maximize the allocation to better optimize the allocation of resource and maximize our profit.
So it looks like we came to the end of the project. So I'll suggest some conclusion and future work which we decided to work on this project for further analysis. So in this project, we proposed using artificial neural networks for modeling ID-based features for click-through prediction task. First, we showed that using nonlinear models using nonlinear models was not as good as using neural networks. So neural networks are better than linear models. We went on to show that using an ensemble of artificial neural network improves performance even more, and also using data for further, as we increase the size of the data, artificial neural networks always perform better. And further research for this process could include testing on real-time data and seeing the performance effects of a real-time and ad selection system. However, more work need to be done on improving the time efficiency of neural network system with extremely sparse input, as the results clearly show gap in performance improving with large data size. It would be interesting to see the effect of using much larger training and data, which we could not do in this example. So that's it for this presentation. Thank you.